Think about the absolute worst thing that could happen to you right now. Maybe it's getting fired tomorrow morning. Maybe it's your partner walking out. Maybe it's failing that exam, losing your savings, or watching your biggest project collapse in front of your eyes. What does standard modern self-help tell you to do when these thoughts creep in? Think positive. Manifest success. Visualize everything working out. It sounds comforting, but deep down, you know it's a lie. Modern advice treats your brain like a toxic, sunny room where negative thoughts aren't allowed. But trying to force positivity on an anxious mind is like putting band-aids over an infection. The moment you close your eyes, that quiet voice comes back whispering, "But what if it all goes wrong?" By running away from your worst-case scenarios, you give them total power over you. Every unexamined fear becomes a monster waiting in the dark. Ancient philosophy proposed something radically different. Something that sounds terrifying at first, but is actually the most liberating psychological hack ever created. Don't avoid the worst-case scenario. Walk straight into it. Over 2,000 years ago, the Roman Stoic Seneca was advising some of the most powerful people in the world on how to manage crippling anxiety. His core technique wasn't positive visualization, it was premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Seneca wrote, "He robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming beforehand." The Stoics realized that surprise is the amplifier of pain. When something terrible happens unexpectedly, it breaks you. But if you have already rehearsed it in your mind 100 times, the shock vanishes. Here is how premeditatio malorum actually works in practice. Instead of pushing away your worst-case scenario, you sit down, shut your eyes, and pull it directly into the light. You don't just briefly skim over it, you detail it completely. Suppose you're terrified of losing your job. Don't stop at, "I might get fired." Go all the way, "I get fired tomorrow at 9 a.m. I have to pack my desk into a box. I drive home in silence. My bank account drains over 3 months. I have to sell my car. I have to move back into my parents' basement or take a job flipping burgers." It sounds bleak, right? But something extraordinary happens when you reach the absolute bottom of the pit. You realize you would survive. You would be uncomfortable. Your pride would suffer. But you would wake up the next morning, drink a cup of water, and adapt. The monster in the closet is only scary while it remains invisible. Once you turn on the lights and inspect its teeth, it stops being a nightmare and becomes a concrete logistical problem. Premeditating evil strips fear of its mystery. You move from an emotional state of "I can't handle this" to a rational state of "if this happens, step 1 is X, step 2 is Y." Now, Stoic premeditation gets you to a baseline of 0. It takes you from panicked anxiety to calm acceptance. But staying at mere acceptance isn't enough. Surviving fate is good, mastering it is better. This brings us to Friedrich Nietzsche, writing in the late 19th century. Nietzsche took the Stoic idea of facing fate and pushed it to its absolute radical extreme with a concept he called Amor Fati, the love of fate. Nietzsche didn't just want you to tolerate bad outcomes. He wanted you to love them. In his work The Gay Science, Nietzsche wrote, "My formula for greatness in a human being is Amor Fati, that one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity. Not merely bear what is necessary, but love it." At first glance, this sounds insane. How can you love losing your business, getting sick, or being betrayed? Nietzsche understood life through the lens of an artist or an author. A story where the hero encounters smooth sailing, no setbacks, and total luck is a terrible story. It builds zero character. It creates no strength, no depth, and no wisdom. Every crisis, every catastrophe, every worst-case scenario is raw material. It is fuel for growth. When you practice Amor Fati, you stop viewing bad events as interruptions to your life. You realize that the bad events are your life, they are the fire that tempers the steel. When a project fails, that isn't a disaster, it's an expensive lesson in resilience. When a relationship ends, it isn't an execution, it's a return to your own independence. If you love the outcome no matter what shape it takes, fear completely loses its grip on you. When you combine Stoic Premeditatio Malorum with Nietzsche's Amor Fati, you arrive at a mindset called Optimistic Fatalism. It works as a two-stage psychological armor. First, fatalism, you acknowledge that you do not control the universe. You accept that bad things will happen. People will disappoint you, plans will fail, and circumstances beyond your control will disrupt your peace. You walk into the dark room and face the worst possibility. Second, optimism, you decide in advance that whatever happens, you will use it to build something stronger. If fate hands you a winning hand, great. If fate hands you wreckage, you build a fortress out of the rubble. Think about how untouchable this makes you. The person who relies on positive thinking is fragile. A single sharp turn of events shatters their entire worldview. They live in constant, subtle dread because they are secretly running away from reality. The optimistic fatalist cannot be broken. Because if option A happens, they win. If option B, the worst-case scenario, happens, they adapt, grow, and turn it into fuel. They don't hope for smooth seas. They become a better sailor. So how do you actually apply this starting today? The next time you feel that cold knot of anxiety rising in your chest about an upcoming event, try this 3-minute mental exercise. First, define the absolute bottom. Ask yourself, what is the literal worst outcome here? Map it out until you reach the end of the road. Second, decide your survival plan. Say to yourself, if this happens, what is my immediate first move? Third, claim the fuel. Ask yourself, how will this outcome make me tougher, smarter, or more capable? Stop trying to convince yourself that bad things won't happen. They might. The peace of mind you're looking for isn't found in pretending the world is safe. It's found in knowing that no matter how dark the storm gets, you carry a light inside you that feeds on the wind. Face the nightmare. Plan for the worst. Love whatever comes next.